Hello and welcome back to the Jags cast. We're straight back after the Airdrie game. Tremendous result again. The club are flying. Welcome to the Lanzarote Lambie stand. The south side stand zero. The West End. There we go. The West End. Come on, Donners.
Yes, that's it. The West End of Lanzarote. That's okay. In fact, I was going to lie. Like, we're just saying, like, Dunstable.
That's great. And Gary.
And the handsome-looking fierce PC in the background as well.
Listen, guys, it's been a fantastic 2-3 weeks. It's been a fantastic return back from the return of football. I think we were all kind of worried after 2-3 games, but the run that we're actually on. But today, looking, we're reacting straight after the Airdrie game. The first half, immense. The boys worked their arses off. They've played well. Perhaps Max Curry's had a double save, almost Buffon levels. Second half was a drop-off. We were missing Banzo today as well. But Falkirk and Cove drawn today as well. It's kind of worked out a perfect day.
It's been a perfect storm. Perfect storm. The last 5 days has been great. Like you just focus and you're getting the 3 points. And like see the first 2 minutes of the game today. I mean, it felt like we're going to win 6 or 7-0, didn't it? But it just you just know it's not going to happen. But it was a great start. The attitude was great. Just so many things about it. It's just a real confidence feel. But I know it's been funny, right? But see if you look at teams that win titles, they never canter to it, do they? I mean, apart from
they grind out results. They do.
Apart from Hearts this season, they want the manager back as well. That's the funny thing about it.
Oh,
background.
Yeah, it's no my side. We'll get
Dunstable.
their mouth.
Dunstable.
Do you know? I think it's all good. Like you have to go and dig in to win titles. Nerves are going to kick in, and just for once, it was just nice to hold it out. And I mean, Airdrie didn't look that great, did they? They certainly got their tails up. And when we brought on Senna, nothing came through the middle. It came out wide. But you knew a team always gets its chance, and they had their chance at the post at the end of the game. But just great to see it out and get 3 points. And a bonus for us as well that the draw at Brockville, as Michael Max kept referring to quite a lot today.
It's definitely great results. I think the fact that we've went 480 odd minutes without conceding a goal is incredible. I can't even remember the last time that we even came close to that. And it's made such a huge difference to see the defence so strong and holding out in games rather than conceding the last minute or the last couple of minutes or whatever. And so it was nice to see. It was a bit shaky and a bit nerve-wracking, but it was good to see today that we held on for the victory.
Yeah, you're right, Gary. I think it's one of those ones that the past few games have been almost a joy to watch, and it's been great seeing Zach getting off and running, and and the confidence that Bell brings at the back, and you can see that rubbing off, and on another day or another season, if we've been in a similar situation, you could have seen that go off the post at the last minute get in, and I think there's it's not like us to get the rubber things, so it's nice to have that. I mean, that was nervy. That was a nervy, last 5-10 minutes, but I think the way we've been playing, I think we deserved it. I think we absolutely, and I think what's been good and what seems from the outside looking in to be coming through is the confidence. There is a confidence in them. The fact that, as I said earlier, Zach's off and running. McKeever's get his goal. That rubs off on all of them. And I think even Zach Rudden getting game time with Brian Graham, and the two of them starting to really play off each other. It's let's face it. That's it. I'm starting to think it was me because I missed the first half because the wee man had his training. But that second half was not a classic. Let's be honest.
No.
It was kind of like, you see, I felt like in the last kind of 4 or 5 games, I've just put the phone down and just watched them. I think partly because you get like a little notification about 5 seconds before the goal.
It's been happening a lot where people have been going, yes, it's a goal, and others are watching the stream going, what?
Listen, Gary, I think you'll know more than most just now, but I just fired the phone down and just watched it, and it's been fun, just to kind of watch Partick Thistle play without having stress. I think in the last 15 minutes that was a bit of stress. But I think there was a bit of hope that you were going to get a second goal. No, it just never came. But it was just great to get 3 points.
Connor Salmon's goal for Falkirk was like a goal for us in theory. So happy days.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that's kind of missing is it's like you say, Donald. It's you watch your phone, you're on with your mates, you see things coming in, and you get the bulletin for Thistle telling you that we've scored before you're actually going to see it. So you're excited for it coming. But I think what you kind of miss, obviously there's a whole thing about the fans not being in the ground and stuff, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I think for me, there's that anticipation when you're at a game like this and it filters through to the crowd and you hear that kind of buzz or cheer when the team that you're up against score. And you can't, there's almost a kind of a bit of a damp squib about they've equalised. I've got nobody to cheer with. Do
you know something, Dunstable? I think that's a great point because we've all been at games where we only need to go back less than 10 years, and we were at Airdrie, almost around about the same time, and Dunfermline equalising against Morton and stuff like that, and then we go up the park and score the last minute winner, and pretty much the title's there, but you still know there's more to come. But I think this is different this year, is the situation, obviously, but more, you can't celebrate it, as you said, with your friends, jumping about, having a laugh, and just, to be part of that whole kind of situation, North Stand, Jackie Husband Stand, and even for the guys away from home as well, that yes moment, we don't have that this year.
In fact, we're going to have get a stand named for the canal. Is it going to be a canal stand now? Because I'm sure they had a ball today.
I'm sure somebody did call it a name. Has it not been called something recent? I'm
Nolly.
Sure.
Is it not the Nolly?
The Nolly. That's it. That's
is
the
that
one.
Right? Brilliant.
The Nolly. I think.
See the whole kind of like delayed stuff is the one that made me put the phone down was the Airdrie game, the first one, not the first one, the one at the new Broomfield, when they're taking a corner and I seen a flash at Tiffany score, and I'm like, oh no, I'm where the kids trying to put it down. You see the same, you think, what the hell? And obviously you score that quickly. But it's funny how it's changed. Sometimes you go on social media and you just download, don't you? You say negative things, you're frustrated, and that negativity feeds into you. It's nice to just put it down and relax and watch your games. And let's be fair, that first half we were bloody good, weren't we? We
were excellent.
Nice, weren't we, to watch?
Yeah.
They
never caused us any troubles.
Yeah.
You've got to take these things to your advantage, though, Donald. What I've been doing, you see the text coming in, and it's so and so hits the bar or whatever else, and I'll see that on the phone, turn around to the wee man and go, I bet you he's going to hit the bar here.
I bet you a fiver. Aye. You're doing the dishes tonight, you hit the bar at this corner.
How did you know that, Dad?
I know.
Do you know something? It's been so long. It's been a tough time for everybody, no matter what club you support or anything like that. But it's been nice given what happened last year with Thistle and what happened with other clubs, and we shouldn't forget that. I think you'd be a liar as a football fan not to think you'd want, obviously, Thistle to win the league, but Falkirk to come up through the playoffs. You'd want
teams like
Stranraer to come up, Stranraer to come up, who went third last night, to come up through the playoffs. The Brora Kelty thing, well, something that goes on to something else. But from our perspective, that it didn't look great for the first half, if you like, of the season. And suddenly, and to be fair, I'll hold my hands up, I wasn't quite sure about Ian McCall. A, when he came in,
Or Zach Rudden.
and B, the thing. And Zach Rudden, yeah, Donald, you and I spoke privately. I wasn't, and I hold my hands up. And do you know something? It's great as a football fan to turn around and go, do you know what? I think I got that wrong, and I should actually trust those in charge.
Yeah, what I've liked recently, actually, maybe not so much today. I think Rudden was back to his usual self, his first touches, but recently I think Zach Rudden, my son's deciding that he wants to stream. Lovely timing. But I think like the thing that I've liked about Zach Rudden and Graham playing together is both of them when they're on their game, they seem to hold the ball up well, get their flick-ons with their headers and nice wee touches out to the wing, especially Tiffany, who's been just like wow. And he's maybe not had his best of games recently. I don't know whether that was down to Dumbarton's pitch or just Airdrie kind of realising that he's a danger. But regarding what you were saying about the first half of the season anyway, it's like I speak to other fans, Clyde fans, Falkirk, whatever, and they're all saying that the difference is we're taking our chances. We're all equally as shit as each other, and Thistle have found the form at the right time, and for whatever reason they look formidable. The fact that, as I said, we've not conceded for so long, and the fact that Rudden and Graham and Tiffany and all these people are dangerous. They're dangerous going forward, they're scoring goals, and that's and as I said, the defence has been brilliant. So I don't think I was too worried about the start of the season. I think it was more to do with a wee bit of luck and stuff. Like even looking back at the very first game we played against Falkirk, I mean, Penrice, whatever you want to say, scored an own goal against Falkirk that it's never going to happen again. You know what I mean? It was a fluke goal. It went flew into the top corner, but we've never looked awful apart from maybe the Clyde game and maybe the Forfar. You know, I mean, they're the only kind of two games I would say we were like really bad for the majority of the game. The rest we've been kind of in it around about the same quality, which is not great, but we've grinded out the results and we now find ourselves in an excellent position, and hopefully we can go and win the league. And
do you know, Gary, I think you're absolutely spot on when you say what you're saying there just now. You know, there was that expectation of what we're doing. Do you know, it's just nice to kind of finally get that run of form at the right time. I think football is all about taking chances, you know, and all of a sudden, if you go 2-0 up in games, it just, everyone's at ease. You just take it for granted.
Especially League One.
We've just not done that enough this season, do you know? Recently have, it's been much better, much more laid back watching that. But I think now as a fan, there's an expectation that we're going to score goals. You know, and that's the expectation we haven't had for a lot of this season, do you know?
That's been a problem for years. It's been a problem for years that no score goals.
Dunstable, I know you were.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm sorry. I know you were going to say. I looked as though you were coming in there.
No, it was a different. It was a different thing. I was going to go on. It was about earlier on when we were talking about the Nolly and the fans being up behind. You know, I noticed that obviously the game at Dumbarton. You know, we had Trevor waving the flag for the ladders and all that sort of stuff. And in a way, it's kind of nice to see that. And I think I know that obviously we still have to make sure that we're playing by the rules in terms of lockdown and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, you saw today. I think there was you probably caught on the scene that.
You could hear them.
Well, you could hear them, but you could also see the players acknowledging them. And Tom Hosey picked up on that through the week on social media, and I think that you know there's an emotive thing there, you know, because it's I was fortunate to attend a couple of the pre-season games when it was behind closed doors, and it just, I know pre-season games are never really the full, you know, it's not, you're not up and running yet, but it just didn't feel right, you know. It just didn't feel like it felt like a bounce game. It didn't feel like it was something that had any. It certainly didn't have the atmosphere because obviously the fans weren't there. But when you get, I think it's compounded more when you get to this stage of the most bizarre season you've ever come across in your life.
That's true.
And to be in the position where we are now, with essentially the league in our own hands, you know, it's ours to lose. And I think that, and that's a great place to be. I mean, I know that you can say that Falkirk have thrown it away or whatever else. We're still in it, you know. And as you said, Raymond, people have had their doubts about McCall. People have had their doubts about certain players. Look at the league table. Look where we're sitting. Look where we're sitting right now. And I think for me, that it's a frustrating thing with the timing of it in terms of how we've been treated by the authorities. But for the fans, you know, nothing. I mean, we all remember the 2012. We all remember that even going to the Livy for the final. All these things. And these are memories that we might not get back. You know. So it would be great to, and it's nice to see them starting to acknowledge that. And I'm hoping that in some way, even if it's afterwards, that there's a recognition of that, and we get to get involved a bit more.
Raymond, if I can just jump in, right? He was saying, like Craig's saying about the league table. It's pretty, isn't it? It really was. It's like we've got a 4-point lead. You know, we've got a goal difference, which is probably quite important now. I mean, 7 goals of a lead of a difference. You know, if you 2 or 3 games left, well, that's like you're asking teams to go. You're asking Falkirk to come and take 4 or 5 off us to make that an impact. Oh God, for God's sake, see the other thing I love, right? And I love this is we're going to beat fucking Hartley on Tuesday night. Hartley, yes, couldn't take it off him.
Technically, we could win the league on Tuesday, boys. If the results go our way.
Right. Before Dunstable and I think of the voice of logic, the two of us right now. You know, before we get carried away, the bottom line is we've had a fantastic run. There's no doubt in that. You know, it's been immense, and Jamie Steddon, that is now 5 clean sheets in a row. Kieran Wright was in 4. Now, where do we go? Kieran Wright's been obviously brought in, you know, on loan. For me, Jamie Steddon, for years, and Dunstable and I will probably be the same. We know Jamie quite well, and he's quite a quiet guy. He's quite unassuming, you know, in regards to, you know, the way he plays and the way he talks and everything like that. This is a guy that when we signed him, I thought was a future Scotland goalkeeper. You can't fault what he's done. But also, does that give confidence to the defence as well? Because apart from, you're right, Donners, I mean, I was nearly in front of Ventura when that shot hit the post, the inside of the post, and come back it. But you're thinking, do you know something? He's still a young guy. And you look at some of the team, and it has needed a Bell or a Geoghegan or a Docherty coming back, who, probably by his own admission, is still not right up to speed. But it has allowed us to be a wee bit more forward-thinking and attacking, which teams perhaps in the first season weren't used to from us because we're struggling for players.
Do you know something, Raymond? See, for the first time, I think today it really showed McCall was bang on with the squad. Okay, so like Kieran Wright was absolutely, I mean, it was a season-changing moment at Airdrie when he made that save and we scored and we hit 1-8. It was 2-0. Game over. Like the way we were feeling just now, somebody was getting stabbed. Everyone was so angry, you know, like season-changing moment. Like, but a quality goalkeeper like that is going to bring on Jamie Steddon, and seriously, the way he's commanded his box in the last little while has been wonderful. But look at today, like Bannigan, arguably our best player all season. Shea Gordon, I thought Shea Gordon was outstanding today. You know, like you're missing a player who is a big player in our squad, our team. You know, and he's out. And you think most clubs go, "Oh, what are we going to do?" He stepped in. I thought it was fantastic. You know, and we've seen it with Stephen Bell stepping in. We've seen it, you know, just with the squad, the way it's happened. Big change. You know, I thought, you know, it's fair play to him. You know, fair play to the board for saying to McCall, there's the money to go and invest, and fair play for him for backing it and getting there, you know, and fair play to the players as well to go and make actually get that transition to get the points.
I think what I like, what I've seen recently, I mean, going on the debate of the goalkeepers and stuff, Sneddon's ours right isn't, and I think the fact that Sneddon's, he's not, let's be honest, he's not had much to do. Today was probably his busiest game he's had in about, like, as I said, about 400 minutes or something. But whatever he had to do, he dealt with. The post shot, there's nothing you can do. It was a good shot, and luck was on our side. But that's maybe due considering like obviously Rudden's goal and just wee things like I was explaining at the start of the season against Falkirk where the free on goal and things like that. So maybe we deserve a wee bit of rub of the green hitting the post and coming out. But Sneddon, like you said, his positioning's great, his reflexes are amazing. Sometimes he was, people say he might have been at fault in the Forfar game for the first goal, but that was his first minutes and how long and like properly and the fact that, I mean, no offense to Senna, I think he's a talented boy. He's definitely struggled from kind of possibly just before that. I'm not sure actually, but Senna really struggled, and whereas you think if you had Bell there or whatever, he would have been a wee bit closer to the player and maybe would have stopped the shot, because it was a great finish by the Forfar striker Fenwick, I think it was. But but as I said, I think Sneddon should be your number one going forward, and he's deserved his chance. And as I said, so again, no offence to Wright, he's a great goalkeeper. Funnily enough, today when the Airdrie goalkeeper made the two saves from Rudden and Graham, I had flashbacks to Airdrie thinking, oh my God, Dave's just made a brilliant double save. They're going to run up the park and bloody score here. You know what I mean?
And then you rub your eyes and realise who you were playing against. Because they were fresh going forward, weren't they?
Funnily enough, I mean, when you look at all the stuff, to like, I always like to go and Pine Bovril, and it's quite fun to see what the fans say and stuff. And the Airdrie fans were quite excited at the fact that they had Paul Payton and Turner in the middle. And as soon as they mentioned Paul Payton, I'm thinking, what an arsehole, man. And it's like, but the fact that the first half they never even had, they never dominated the midfield the way the Airdrie fans thought they would. And the second half, I think the nails got on. I think you might have found that there's a slight possibility that the players maybe knew what the score was in the Falkirk game, and maybe the last 5-10 minutes, and McCall that maybe told them to, you know, obviously the fact that he took off Rudden, brought on Sen and stuff, maybe suggested to the players, look, we need to hang on to this result rather than.
I thought Rudden coming off was to do with the booking, and then he had the wee issue with the goalkeeper, didn't he, just after it? Because I was actually surprised. You know, I was going to ask you actually, Raymond. And the rest of you guys, McCall's not used substitutions very well, has he? I feel as if it's been I thought Graham should have been off today. He was out on his feet, you know.
I personally thought the Rudden substitution was absolutely perfect, because that was literally thrown up as quick as that tackle, stroke, challenge, whatever you want to call it, happened, and it was literally get him off before he does something stupid. Because and it was, you know, the first one I can accept, you know, and guys are challenging, and I'm sure you're probably the same. You know, it's tough at centre forward, centre half. The second one I thought was just, it was almost shades of Falkirk, and you're going, oh my God, what's he done?
I mean, that could just be passion and whatever else. He wants to succeed. He's a young boy still, and he knows himself. He's underperformed, and obviously in recent weeks, well, I say recent weeks, the games are coming that thick and fast. It's really just been the last week and a wee bit, but his form's improved. Today didn't have quite the luck he should have maybe squared it in the first half to Cardo, and he shot, and then I think there was a second chance that he maybe should have shot, but he kind of tried to look for the pass and whatever else, and that was kind of shades of like what he was like maybe a few weeks back and stuff. But Rudden's made such a difference to him, Tiffany, and as you said, Bannigan's been brilliant this season. I'm quite critical of players. Sometimes I like to look at them and stuff. And Bannigan I've been watching, because everybody says, oh, he always plays the side passes and the safe passes. But I think it was a few games ago, maybe on one of the away streams, that I pointed out that you see Bannigan trying to drive passes forward rather than, maybe not all the time, but he's looking more for the driven forward pass, because he knows players like Rudden and Graham can hold the ball up well, and as I said, bring players like Tiffany and Cardo into play, which is.
Do you know, Gary?
Well, listen, guys, can I stop you a minute? Because I want to get Dunstable on this, because I know how big a centre half he is, and how he plays in the Furhall Cup over the years, and that was the reason I brought it up. If you're a centre half, and let's be honest, mate, you're a big lumpy boy at the Furhall Cup. And nobody gets by you, and never has if you're playing up against Zach Rudden today, are you looking at that as a centre half going, I can wind him up?
No.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's Zach's a young guy, and sometimes can be seen to have a wee bit of it. It's easy, and particularly that game against Airdrie. Tempers are going to flare even when there's no fans there. So yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of your job, isn't it? The wee tugs, and I know less of that happens in the modern game. That's something probably. I know you should pick on me there, Raymond, but
I wasn't picking.
But that's but yeah, for a kind of old school centre half, you would be doing those. Of course, you would. You'd be looking to kind of get our eyes out of them and trying to So in terms, going back to the substitutions, I agree. I think it was a wise time for them to pull them off. It could very quickly, if you go down to if there's going to be any game where you're going to get a red card, you're going to put your money on a Thistle v Airdrie game. It's happened before. It's happened many times in the past. But I think the thing is, and you might think, well, losing somebody might turn the game. I'm not so sure with their attack that it would have done anyway. But yeah, no, I think it's the good thing about this season is there's so many options on the bench. You've got that. You can literally change the whole format of the team. With two or three substitutions, completely change the shape. And I think that it's not always a like for like. And I think there was a wee bit in that last stages of that second half where I was just thinking, just get everybody behind the ball and put that thing in the canal. I was almost harking back to the days where you didn't have to change the ball, and you had to wait for the original ball coming back.
Back.
Wait till somebody runs down Firhill Road and brings the ball back before we can restart the game.
I was almost in the fetus position at one point in the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, they were pressuring us a wee bit with their cross balls and stuff, and we're all used to conceding the last kind of minute goals. But where you were talking about, with the balls and that, I think that's. I think we should do away with the ball boys and do that, because it seems to have improved our game, having all the balls at the side of the pitch, and the fact that the players can get on with the game, and when they're chasing the game especially, they can get on with the game. I mean, Dumbarton, I think, didn't have that, and that maybe explains why Dumbarton are hard to beat, because I think they're one of the few teams that actually do have that situation where literally as you put the ball at the stand, you need to get another ball at the bag kind of thing. But it's definitely improved, and it's great. I know we're in League One, but it's great to be happy and getting excited at the possibility of winning a title within the next kind of week. But we know that can go horribly wrong so quickly.
It really does.
I think the big thing is, we've all been Thistle fans long enough, and some of us are, well, we're older than you, Gary, to be fair, but some of us have been through the mill
to forget about things.
But we've actually got to a point where it's like, listen, we can still. I mean, before there was a thing about Hibs. If social media had been about, there would always have been something about Thistle in it. And I'm getting back 30, 40 years. It can be a mistake. But I think you're right. And the fact is that it's been a horrific year for everybody, no matter where you are in the world. And we've got something now that I would say 6 months ago, it was bad enough what happened, like a year ago in regards to the relegation and everything. But we've now got something to hold on to, and it doesn't look great. Let's be honest. We're not going to lie about this. It didn't look great for 3-4 months. It didn't look great about 5-6 weeks ago, and suddenly, but it's almost brought all the fans together again. The club to a certain extent back in, that we're going, do you know something? We can win a league. I was reading in social media about Hearts fans saying they're not going to pick up. I don't think they should pick up a trophy. I'm sorry. It's not the club's fault. These players have earned that, and I know Thistle will do that if and let's not get ahead of ourselves. let's not get that here. But pick it up, enjoy it, because see next season when fans are eventually allowed back in to the clubs, and we're playing a league higher, which will be something that no Thistle fans seen all season. So we don't even that some of our fans haven't even known about playing in League One.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
So they're getting back to the Championship.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, Raymond, you're reaching here.
And enjoy it.
No, I agree. I mean, it's turned out that this season's definitely better. I mean, at one point we were comparing this to be worse than the Dick Campbell times when we went up to Peterhead and stuff, and it was. I mean, with it being, I like to stick up for the management. I've got reasons why I like to stick up for the management, but it's injuries did play a huge part in the first season, the first part of the season, sorry. And I think now that we've got a full bench to kind of, like you said earlier on, to make changes and stuff, it's made the whole world. It really has changed the season. The fact that we can change it up, and I'm going to stick up a wee bit and say I definitely think injuries had a major part, and a wee bit of luck went against us with certain things at the start of the season. But thankfully, we were, as I said, we were earlier on, we're all equally shit as each other at that point. So it kind of worked out that it's went in our favour now.
I think what's interesting is and I know you've got to take account of loan signings and things that have been a big thing for us, particularly in this campaign. And the previous campaign, Scott McDonald and others who have made a big impact. But if you look at what we've got now on paper, that's not a League One side. You know,
No.
You know, it's not. It's never a League One side. And I think there's we've seen it as Thistle fans, but you know, it takes time to gel. It takes time. As we mentioned at the start, you know, about Zach getting his goal and all that sort of stuff, and other things start. But it is falling into place. And what you were saying about the Hibs in it or Thistle in it or whatever else. Yeah, we do that. You know, I think it would be daft of any of us to not to think that there's an opportunity for us to no get into the playoffs. You know, even if it's still mathematically possible. You know what I mean? But
so you've got a 1% of a chance missing out. We definitely will.
Of course. But why shouldn't we, when we're at the top of the league now? Why shouldn't we, with the confidence that's in that team, be saying, we're going to win this. We are going to. You know, that's what we set out to do. That's what the management team set out to do. All right, we took a wee bit of a convoluted way to get where we are now. But let's take that positive. And you're right, because there's things that it does hang over to the fans, whether it's to do with fan takeover, whether it's to do with kids playing, whether it's to do with stuff on the forum, whatever else. 2 or 3 results and bumping yourself from where we were a few weeks ago to where we are now. The positivity behind everything is fantastic, and I think we need to ride the crest of a wave and get, you know. So other things like, you know, I seen it myself, the Hearts thing about the leave the trophy and all that away. You know, give me shite. You know, take that trophy and you know, you can't take that off the players. You can't.
Oh, you
can't. No, definitely no. I don't think the players would accept it either.
Should you? But why should you? And see the thing is, just when you said that, just checked. So we should celebrate today because we're now mathematically definites to be in the playoffs. So that doesn't matter.
Well, that's it. Worst case scenario, we finish 4th.
And you would, you know, a couple of days ago that there was, and Donners, you and I were on a call where people who were on that call told us that we can still be relegated. You know. You know, so what a turnaround! You know,
it's great.
It has been fantastic, and I think the other thing is it's come at the right time as well. You know, the timing of the run that we're on, it's just been amazing. And whilst, you know, we're joking, but still in the back of our minds, we're still serious about. Wait a minute, something's bound to go wrong, because that's just been part of a Partick Thistle fan. To actually look today and you're going, well, that's one down, and we are literally looking at 2 more wins and it's done.
Nah,
It
man, we'll
done.
win in Tuesday, Raymond, and then Falkirk will lose to Montrose, and that'll be it sorted. Done and dusted. We can celebrate.
Falkirk don't play Tuesday night. Falkirk don't play until we play them next Thursday.
No, they play Montrose. They play Montrose on Tuesday, and we play Cove. Falkirk are, I think.
Falkirk got a bye. Falkirk got a bye on Tuesday. Falkirk's next game.
That's right.
Is it?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Oh well then.
Yeah, Falkirk don't play till Thursday.
Oh well, that's screwed then. No, it's
there we go.
No, it's been great, and as I said, people can sit and slate McCall and slate the two assistants and all that, but at the end of the day, at this moment in time, they've done their job. And I mean, we could have been in Falkirk's position where we have to sack the managers. Falkirk could be potentially facing 3 years in League One, which, let's be honest, we're scared at the prospect of facing 2 years in League One. So God knows how Falkirk are
and you don't want to be in League One next year with Queen's Park coming up.
Right,
Maybe Cannon spending money like he's a lottery millionaire.
Even the teams coming down, like Alloa, aren't as bad as people think. You know what I mean? Like even the championship teams have said that. No. Listen, hear me out. The championship teams have said this season they don't play awful football. They just have been
shite
this season. But what I mean is Alloa are a team who can get a result in League One. Kind of thing. They're not, maybe not the championship, but they can definitely get a result in League One. And obviously today I think Morton and Airdrie. So the fact that they two are still in with a chance of being in the playoffs will not be an easy thing to get out of. And I feel for anybody, hopefully not us, but if it's Falkirk, Cove, Airdrie, and Ayr or Morton,
who cares?
Well, who cares?
As long as it's no us.
Who cares for starters? But it's just, oh my God! I'm so glad that we've found ourselves in this position, and the players deserve plaudits basically, and
yeah,
it's brilliant to, as I said, it's brilliant to just be in this position, and everybody's happy and smiling and joking and whatever else, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
I want to ask something. I'm going to start with Dunstable. What do you think? I'm going to ask you all the same question. What for you was the change? What was the turnaround? Was there a result, a moment in a game that has got us to this position?
I think it was a loan signings. I'm not saying that Tiffany coming in was a big one for me. Just the impact that he's had. I think having somebody like that that's used to playing at in the Premiership and whatever else, and even as a fringe player, it boosts the morale. It boosts the drive for places in that team. So things like that. And I'm not saying that's the sole thing, but I think at that point, because we've got very used to the kind of the after. It must be difficult for the likes of McCall and Scally and Archie and these guys to come out and try and motivate us as fans and the media, and without just sounding like they're saying the same thing over and over and over again. And we've all seen that on social media. We go, here we go. We've had a great training session. We're all pals.
And we've all been guilty.
Well, the interesting thing is that, as you mentioned earlier, Raymond, you and I have been in a situation where we've been lucky to be kind of a bit closer to that than some other fans, and I have witnessed training sessions where you look at it and you go, we're up for this. We are abs. And for one reason or another, sometimes on a Saturday afternoon it just doesn't fall into place. And it's difficult to post-rationalise that. But I do think that the kind of I was going to say the January window, but the lockdown window coming back after that, getting and I think the big impact, and this should not be understated, and it's often overlooked, is the impact that the board and other people have had on not just the club and not just the support they've given to our manager, but in getting this league back and playing. And I don't think there's a lot of you know, I think there's a wee doff of the cap needed to some people within, certainly within our own club, who have been the driving forces behind making this happen. Because I think if certain people hadn't done that, we could be sitting here no talking about football right now.
That's right.
You know, and you know that will, and the people who were involved in that, you know, they'd like to keep their, you know, keep things under, keep their powder dry and all that, and that's great. Yeah. But I think they deserve a wee bit of credit for that. So two things for me is the loan signings, Raymond, and the work that's been done behind the scenes.
Yeah, I would like to echo what Donald's is saying, because I think the board deserve an immense amount of credit, and I know they get powered, and there's always going to be a certain section of the fan base that isn't going to quite take that. But the fact is, they back the manager, they've backed the club, and honestly, it does the ball. You're nailed on with that. I honestly do, and both of us know some other stuff, and it's great to see that that's been backed, and it would be great to see the other fans go, well, do you know something? We didn't agree with what the board were doing or what the manager's doing. Sometimes you just need to hold your hands up. That'd be fair to say.
No, absolutely. But I mean, I think that it's not without giving the players and the management their due. But there's this has been, you know, unparalleled in terms of the difficulty that we've had to get through for this year, both in terms of, I mean, and I think what's good, certainly, and I know that we've all got our own personal experiences about it, but the lockdown's been hard. It really has. It's a difficult thing to just navigate life with 4 kids and 2 dogs and, you know, and various other things. At the best of times, throw a lockdown in there, and it's tricky, you know. So, and then you come back to, great, the football's back. We've got something to talk about. We've got, you know, a wee bit more excitement with it, and then the football's rotten, and you know, and you're like, oh no. But actually, it was rotten. But we're now in a position where it's not, and you know, and that you're right. There has been a couple of things, and as I said earlier, the loans, the work that's been done behind the scenes have had a big impact on that, and I don't think we should let that go unnoticed. You know, that said, it's nice to see other things like one thing that's been if you look back through the last few seasons, one thing for me, or one person who's been consistent throughout all of that is Banzo. You know, and he's had his ups and downs. You know, I would say over the last 3-4 games, when I saw he was out today, I was like, I can't even tune in. You know,
I was the same.
You know, because I think he's you know, he's had a couple of shocking passes. He's had a couple of shocking passes to him. You know, whatever else that happens, but he's just been such a commanding presence. And I think for somebody, when you look back at the weekend, fresh-faced lad that came through the academy, I mean, that's no mean feat. You know, he's been there through thick and thin with us. You know, so I know I've kind of overstepped the mark on your answer there.
Not at all, mate.
I think that those are a few things that I think are really, really, really important, and it's, you know, because of the lockdown thing, because we are in a position where we're doing well. That's why I think, you know, hey, make hay while the sun shines. Let's enjoy it. Let's you know, let's just, you know, enjoy the. It's just a shame that we can't do it in the Woody, you know.
Yeah, the old days.
But, it also helps. It lets younger kids as well feel proud to wear the Thistle shirt again. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes when you're out and about, you actually see Wayne's wearing Thistle tops, but when you're doing shite, you don't see it as much. But you start to see the odd occasional one now and again popping up, and you're like, oh, there you go.
I'll tell you a wee story, and I digress slightly here, but I took the wee man to the wee man started training at a new club, and it's his first real kind of football club. He's 9-year-old, and we went along, and I had. Do you remember the Joe Matraki top was black and yellow a couple of seasons ago? Right?
Yes.
So I had that on, right, and one of the guys comes up to me and says, "You one of the new coaches?" And I says, "No, I'm just a guy here with my boy, you know." And it turns out it was the same as the club's kit, and but obviously it's got the Thistle badge on it, so whatever. So went along, and Harry's turned up first. So all the boys there have all got the club kit on, but Harry turned up with the full Thistle, everything, like Thistle socks, Thistle shorts, the top, the trackie,
I love this.
a hat, the whole whatever else. And I said, right, and you know that thing, you first drop your son off, you think I'll leave them and walk away and just let them do their own thing. So you're not. So I went up to the boy who was running at the end. I said, how'd he go on? He went, mate, he walked in here in the south side of Glasgow, fully regaled in a Thistle kit. That boy's always going to do well in life. And I think you're right, Gary. It's great to see, and there's no, because when I was growing up wearing, the original version of this strip, there was a wee bit of a stigma attached to it, and you kind of, if you were hardy enough, you could take it in the chin or whatever else. But
I still
now
get my
it's
mum
just
telling me to stop going to the away games with my Thistle top on in case I get a down.
To be fair, your mum says that to me,
Yeah.
One of them ones.
Oh.
One of them ones. That was the low blow, just because I know Carol's a good friend of mine. She's a good friend of mine.
I don't go to that Parkhead area, man, with your Thistle top on. Everybody's Celtic fans are there. Aye, all right, no worries, Mo.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think the change in the season was, as Tunstall said, all the signings, but pace. See, having pace up front, we've missed that for a couple of seasons. And Tiffany came in and changed it all. And he's not been great in the last two games. He wasn't good today at all. In fact, he couldn't show his pace. I look at the first half, that right back was saying, go and beat me, and he didn't want to do it, but it's opened up defences, and it's made a big change for us. So,
I think Tiffany's got more to his game than just. I think the last couple of games he showed he's got a wee bit more to his game than just taking men on. I feel as if he managed to get his body in front of the ball quite well, between the player and the ball. My son picks the right times to get upset, and but I feel as if, like, if you watch Tiffany, you see he does get his body in between the player and the ball well, even just to flick it onto somebody else. So that there is more to Tiffany's game than just beating a man and running at defenders with pace or whatever, and that's nice to see. And I would like to point out, I mean, the last, I think it's like the last 8 or 9 games. So since we've been back, I'm not sure how many we've played since we came back, but we've scored like 21 goals. You know what I mean? And that is with Tiffany coming in, Rudden having form. In the first 11 games of the season before the shutdown, whatever, I think we didn't even score double figures. I think it was 8 or 9 goals or something. It was, everybody knew that's what we were lacking. So yeah, you're right that the fact that we've got players like Tiffany and pace and Rudden finding form, Graham's even chipping in with goals as well. He's not got as much pressure on him. Even Murray found a wee bit of form at one point as well. Scored 3 or 4 goals. So no, the fact, goals win games, and we've scored 21 goals or 22 or whatever it is in the last 8 games or something, and that's what's turned our season around. Simple as.
So we've had a brilliant question actually, and it kind of makes it open to everybody's interpretation, whether you're one of the panel or where you're listening. But at Tam Britton has sent us a question. If we beat Cove Rangers on Tuesday, which is, as he points out, something we've not done so far, and Falkirk fail to beat us on Thursday, are we champions?
I think maybe if you look at the stats in this one, so we're 4 points ahead just now.
We are champions. I'm just going to interrupt you. We are champions because we'll be.
Gary's already done everything.
We'll be 7 points. We'll be 7 points ahead of Cove if we were to beat Cove, and Cove have only got 6 to play for. Yeah. We're then obviously still 7 ahead of Falkirk, but they've got 9 to play for. Should we not get beat off of Falkirk, we will remain 7 ahead of Falkirk, and they have only got 2 games left after that.
And a huge goal difference of a difference.
But the goal difference doesn't matter. If we beat Cove and draw and don't lose to Falkirk, yes, the league is ours 100%. So there we go. No need to go into all the mathematics. Just that.
Well, that's that, isn't it?
There you go, Tam Britton.
Well, that's finished it.
That's you told.
But son, I did say the other night after we beat Dumbarton there, I reckon 7 out of 12 was probably enough, because every club's probably going to potentially cut each other's throat, and it's kind of looking like that, and it probably backs up like what Gary's saying. Actually, you know, Tuesday night. Quite honestly, I will just sit, wait, see what pans out.
It's a similar
Let's see
scenario.
let's see how, whether we're going to get Bansto back. Let's see if Doc's okay today, because he looked as though he was struggling a wee bit today, and they're quite pivotal, you know. And I think the one thing we were talking about Stuart Barrigan earlier, Dunstable, I think Doc, after coming in, whilst he's probably still got a wee bit more fitness, he's getting away with it in this league, but he's allowed Banzo to be the player that everybody's known.
He has. I mean, it has. I mean, I was a wee bit concerned that we had two players who were too similar in that central role, you know. But I think it does work. I don't know if. I mean, I think Doc's been off it a wee bit the past couple of games. I don't think he's been he's not been. I mean,
it was really good second half.
Yeah, but he's certainly the last few games he's not had the impact that he had right at the start.
Yeah, I'm one of the guys who think that the two of them actually work well together. I must be one of the only ones, but I definitely think Doc's not. I don't think they're as similar as people are making out, and Doc's a lot better at winning the ball more, getting stuck. Know that Banjo doesn't get stuck in. I just think Doc's more cleaner at winning the ball than what Banjo is. And
what you're saying is he doesn't get booked as often.
Aye, so but Banjo definitely for whatever reason, whether it's the drop in quality or whatever, Banjo is up to his game. He's played as well this season as he has for many a season type thing. And
I think Gary, if you looked at the game the day, I think there was a little incident I've got in the 76th minute when there was a knockdown from the kind of right back area for the Airdrie player, and he knocked it down kind of backwards, and Ross Doherty was the first one to take the midfield runner and see the ball out. You know, and I think these are the kind of things that you don't really pick up. You know, watching players, you just see what they're doing on the ball and stuff like that. I thought he was excellent today. I really thought he was. Apart from his shooting, you know, I don't think he should be allowed to shoot, to be fair. You know? In fact, if you go back and look at that video on Tuesday night about Zach Rudden when he took the shot and Zach Rudden shouted, "Fucking back across it," do you know, he was raging, you know.
But get that's Rudden and Graham are they're proper strikers who want to. They always want the ball, and we've seen Graham doing it 99% of the time. He moans even if there's a better opportunity on. He'll have a good moan at the player for shooting instead of giving the ball to him to try and score. You know what I mean? And that, not that it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Graham wants to obviously score, and that's what strikers are there to do. But it's going off topic, but definitely, I think Banjo and Doc. I think we missed Banjo today. I think. I mean, we dominated the first half, but I still feel as if we missed him because I feel as if his passing has been brilliant, and he probably could have allowed Tiffany in more maybe, and that's maybe why Tiffany wasn't as influential again today maybe. But yeah.
I
was about to say I want to get back to Dunstable because.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute there and I was blaring away. I don't disagree with you, Gary, but I think because, as I said earlier, you know, when you see Banjo's missing, you're like, oh no, wait a minute here. See if we drawn that game or lost, you know, the chat of the Steamy would have been, it's because Banjo was out. It's because Banjo was out. But Banjo was out, and we still won that game, you know. Yeah. And I think that's just shows the depth. I mean, I know that Doc's played well. I mean, Shea's kind of a wee bit kind of hot and cold sometimes, you know. But we've ground out a result, you know. We've had a good first half, apparently, because I never saw it. But when I turned up, the second half was turgid, you know. And we've got out of jail at the end. We're lucky at the end with that one. I can, you know, when you said 76 minutes, I could feel the heart palpitations going again, Thomas, you know, because it was the end of that game. Felt like it was taking forever, but no, I think I'm starting to get, you know, I'm quietly confident of where we are. I mean, I think that you know, it'd be very easy to go, oh, we could thistle it or we could whatever else as we were saying earlier, but I mean, on another day, that would have been a draw. On another season where we've seen a couple of seasons ago, where we've played for 80 minutes and lost games in the last 10. That didn't happen today. And that's a good thing. One place to be.
Absolutely. Listen, Raymond, if you throw the thought back a month, we said the fact we're full time, the fact that the squad, is going to get us over the line. If you look at it today, it was like you get Shea Gordon, who felt he was, well, in my opinion, man of the match today. I thought he was outstanding today. You had Senna who came on, who made a massive difference in the middle of the park in midfield, where we were kind of, not toiling, but maybe
dominated
a little bit. Yeah. And I think it's the case that you look at us in Cove boys are back working tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. We can go and get massages, get trained up.
Well.
Get it right up, Hartley. Get it right up, him.
Can I just interrupt for 2 seconds and just say the way I see the league table and stuff? And you're talking about Falkirks and Coves. See, in my opinion, Airdrie were probably on form in the last 10, 15 games, believe it or not, have just been as good as us. And if anything, are better than what Falkirk and Cove are at this moment in time.
It's another one.
I know, they didn't look like it today. I must admit, I don't know what the hell the Airdrie fans have been smoking, but for whatever reason, if Airdrie going on the form table were the form team with us, then yeah, definitely, I think I'm quietly confident that we can see off Falkirk, or at least
Gary, can I just point out something? A week past Thursday, when close for the form team,
and we pumped them
forward, and we put 5 by them. That was a struggle today. Let's be honest.
But I think it's
a game it's got to be a game at a time.
Yeah, definitely.
We're in a fantastic position. I think.
I don't care. We're winning the league.
Disagree with that. Some of us are kind of. Let's just wait till after Tuesday.
Nah,
maybe
definitely.
After Tuesday, I might kind of start to get a little bit ambitious.
Do you know? I'm sure there's a lot of Thistle fans who, I don't know, maybe a majority of Thistle fans that think, what if it goes wrong? So let's just say we lost to Cove.
Well, I was just about to say that as well. It's like, it's funny.
Do you want to do this game, right? So let's
no, really, no.
This boy, who was it?
No.
Who was it asked the question about if we won and lost? Who was it we won and lost? Funnily enough, see if you switch the results round, I think you don't. It's no. So where I said obviously if we beat Cove and draw with Falkirk, you win the league. I think if you switch the results around and draw with Cove and beat Cove and beat Falkirk, I think it doesn't work out the same way. I believe that Falkirk have still got a chance of winning the league. I could be wrong, but I'd need to look into that. Just purely because Falkirk aren't playing on Tuesday. That's all. So yeah.
Listen, I think
the good thing is the permutations are getting smaller.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you for some sense, Dunstable. Thank you for bringing sense to this conversation.
Hey, I know.
That's why I missed you.
I'm going to need to bow out of this. I'm afraid because my dinner is getting made and I am having a breakfast for dinner. So, and I can smell it and it smells beautiful. So
it's all right. We can edit that out.
I remember you saying you could edit it out. So
Right, wind it up.
Right, guys, listen, Dunstable, fantastic to have you back. We've missed you.
Thanks
and by the way,
we have missed you.
What the one thing is, if you've kind of missed out and if you were sorry to miss out in the pandemic, Dunstable has been doing loads of music stuff with his mates, and it was really, really good just to sit and watch and listen. His voice is not bad.
How much have you been doing?
No,
Justin Curry.
But it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. What Dunstable has done right through. It's been brilliant to have you back, mate. Donners, as always, been great. Gary, thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
I want to tip a hat for all the Thistle fans for away games. So we'll just leave it at that, mate.
Yes, we'll see you on Tuesday as well.
And we'll see you on Tuesday. Listen, guys, it's been fantastic. We're not that far away. It may happen. it's going to happen, isn't it?
It's going to happen.
Oh, there it is.
Well,
There it is. We knew you would
David-
get you to say it's going to happen.
David, like, see what does happen next Thursday. We're having a party in the canal next Saturday.
I've already spoke to Mrs. The amount of people that are going to be at that area is going to be unbelievable. And Raymond, are you going to fly back?
No chance. Are you kidding? Leave this
Canal
weather.
for your weather.
Listen, guys, have a great weekend. Look after yourselves. Look after all your friends as well. It's been brilliant to have the guys back on. Fingers crossed, things are picked up. We're back with you next week, and on the Jags.
What a Jags.
One of the Jags.
On the Jags.